1,000 residents packed into a Georgia gymnasium to confront one of the world's most powerful AI companies over a $20 billion deal negotiated behind closed doors and announced without a single vote. From blocked pipelines in New Mexico to a Kentucky town doubling its own borders, the fight over America's data center boom is getting personal. In Effingham County, Georgia, nearly 1,000 people confronted OpenAI and county officials at an open house near Rincon. Many furious that a $20 billion data center campus had been negotiated for months and announced without a single public comment or vote. The project, known as Project Camellia, would put 4 buildings on the 2,600-acre Savannah Gateway Industrial Hub, making it potentially the largest data center campus in Georgia when it launches in 2028. Residents from 79-year-old churchgoers to high school students vented fears about the environment and rising electricity costs. And here's the thing, the backlash changed nothing on paper. OpenAI has already locked in 3.2 gigawatts of power for the site. But the anger in that room is exactly what's now spilling into hearing rooms across the country. In Colorado Springs, that fight ran 14 hours straight. The city's planning commission heard appeal after appeal from neighbors trying to stop Project Taurus, a data center that tech and real estate firm Raeden wants to build inside a former Intel chip plant near Garden of the Gods Road. At the end of the marathon session, commissioners voted 6-2 to deny every appeal and let the project move forward. But they attached real conditions. Raeden must report its utility usage for the first 10 years, and the site is capped at 50 megawatts. Exceed that, and it's back before the commission. The residents and the group integrity matters aren't done. They have until August 3rd to escalate the fight to the full city council. Regulators elsewhere, though, are doing far more than attaching conditions. In New Mexico, regulators just said no. Again, the state rejected a proposed 17-mile natural gas pipeline that would have fed Oracle's massive Project Jupiter campus, a 2.5-gigawatt facility that ranks among the largest AI builds in the country. Regulators cited water use, emissions, and surprisingly little revenue flowing back to the state. It's the second time the project's energy plans have been turned away. And it signals something bigger. The power supply, not the land, is now the choke point for America's AI build-out. Oracle insists Project Jupiter remains on schedule despite the setback. But every rejected pipeline and every delayed interconnection adds pressure to a grid already straining under demand that has nearly doubled in 3 years. And the pressure on the grid is only half the story. Water tells the other half. In tiny Bergen, Kentucky, population about 1,000, the city council voted 3-2 to annex more than 1,000 acres of farmland, roughly doubling the size of the town, to clear the way for a potential hyperscale data center. The problem, Bergen doesn't control its own water. Neighboring Harrodsburg supplies it, and Harrodsburg has formally objected, saying Bergen skipped a state-required 14-day notice and that the local system may simply not be able to support a hyperscale facility. Worse, an old contract obligates Harrodsburg to provide Bergen unlimited water for industrial use. And rerouting the waterline would cost $30 million. Residents say the process is being rushed and their voices aren't being heard. While the county weighs a temporary moratorium, state legislators are taking notice of fights exactly like this one. Pennsylvania just became the latest state to demand answers. As part of this month's $50.8 billion budget deal, lawmakers passed a measure requiring any data center using more than 10 megawatts a year to publicly disclose its energy and water consumption. It's a transparency-first approach. But critics note what survived untouched. A sales tax exemption for data centers projected to cost the state $2 billion by mid-2031. Bills that would have barred data centers from Opportunity Zone tax breaks, or let local governments impose construction pauses, never reached the governor's desk. It's a pattern playing out nationwide. More than 300 data center bills have been introduced across 30 states this year alone. Yet despite that regulatory wave, developers are pressing forward, and some are engineering their way around the objections entirely. Near the town of Turkey, Texas, population about 400, QTS Data Centers and Lancium are planning a $10 billion hyperscale campus designed to sidestep the two biggest complaints against the industry. Up to 11 data center buildings across 465 acres will draw power from on-site solar and battery storage, with the developers funding every energy infrastructure upgrade themselves. Backed by a 1 gigawatt grid connection, cooling runs on closed-loop systems, meaning the campus won't touch the town's municipal water supply at all. The project promises up to 7,000 construction jobs at its peak and roughly 350 permanent positions in one of the most sparsely populated corners of the Texas Panhandle. It's a blueprint for building without backlash. And in Georgia, another tech giant is trying to buy goodwill a different way. Columbia County, Georgia announced that Google will be the sole operator of the planned data center in Appling. And the deal comes with unusual promises. Google has committed to paying 100% of the energy costs associated with the project. A direct answer to fears that data centers drive up everyone's power bills. Georgia Power says rates will hold stable through 2028, with average residential customers projected to save more than $100 a year after that. The announcement landed as the county chairman and county manager met with President Trump in Washington. County leaders say the project will create jobs, grow the tax base, and reduce reliance on property taxes, though some residents remain skeptical. And behind nearly every one of these projects stands the same force: Wall Street money, at a scale that's hard to comprehend. BlackRock just showed how the AI build-out actually gets paid for. The world's largest asset manager completed a debt sale of more than $12 billion for a single Meta data center, one of the largest financings of its kind ever assembled, drawing investors from BlackRock's $12.5 billion acquisition of Global Infrastructure Partners and its $12 billion purchase of HPS Investment Partners. Days later, a BlackRock-backed consortium with Abu Dhabi fund MGX committed another $5 billion in growth capital to aligned data centers, immediately after closing its $40 billion acquisition of the company. Added up, and one firm has steered well over $50 billion into data center deals in a matter of months. The protests, the lawsuits, the water fights, none of it has slowed the money yet. Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, subscribe, leave a like, and drop a comment. It helps us cover more of these stories.